What's good, YouTube? Vakasa Kabi here. So, we're diving into a request from Peaked. This one is Lowkey, Something Wonderful. This is an older song from 2010. Very, very excited for some more Lowkey. Lowkey has some of the best bars, the deepest, most descriptive style of lyricism, very much about the things that go on in the world and deeper things that go on inside of life. He has a way with words that really hits you in the soul, and he's very good at putting his heart and his soul out there with his lyrics. So I really appreciate that about Lowkey. He's one of the realest artists out there. I love his music. I love his message. So we will see what Peaked has given us with this request. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe for me. We talk about mental health, addiction, world issues, everything in between. Break down all the lyrics, instrumentation. We got a music video for this one. I really like diving in and analyzing every bar of the lyrics, going the whole 9 yards, and deciphering the messages and the hidden meanings and doubles and metaphors and everything like that. We get all kinds of cool stuff going on here when it comes to the lyricism in these songs. So I'm very excited to dive into some more Lowkey for you guys. I say this in every video. If you're going through something in life, whether it's a mental health struggle, addiction, or you're just having a lot of bad days, I promise you it can get better. You can pull yourself out of those hard times, and you can make something of yourself. You can become all of the things that you dream to be inside of your life. You can make your dreams come true. You just have to really, really put in the effort to pull yourself out of those vices and those things that hold you back and hinder your progress. You have to be strong, and you have to withstand the temptations that you'll get whenever they arise, and you have to just sit inside of where you know will keep you where you want to be. I think it's very important to encourage people to do that, especially in a world where so many people are struggling with their mental health and with substance abuse problems. I have recovered from drug addiction and alcoholism, so it's a very, very touchy topic, even on my side. I've been through a lot, and it's great to be on here. It's a blessing to be on here with you guys and to have the supportive community that we have built here. It really is a blessing. So I love you guys. We're going to get into this one. I'm Vakasa Kavi. A reaction video a day keeps the doctor away. Fuck those apples. This is Lowkey. Something Wonderful. I like that piano.
Something wonderful.
Nice vibe here.
For the women of the world, because women are the world.
Mixing my emotions.
I'm just letting you know.
Let's see here.
I'm trying to be a good man, I can't speak for the others. Know the saying, heaven lies at the feet of your mother. Mine showed me the definition of hard working. Smiles through her tears, even though her heart's hurting. Speaks her mind and never ever bites her tongue. I guess today you could say I'm just like my mum. Great-grandmother was in Beirut in 82, in a flat when it got invaded by Israeli troops. Sleeping in the hallway for shelter from the bullets, and that's why I'll always respect her to the fullest. Physically got no memories, are kept in a picture. In Baghdad, my nan slept with a Beretta in a slipper. You're judged as a man by everything you amount to, and the respect that you show the women around you. So think about this stuff when you diss her. That's somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, and somebody's sister.
Wow. Wow. Lowkey. I approve of this message. Wow. He said, you do something wonderful. Chase it all away for the women of the world, because women are the world. He said, mixing my emotions throws me back again. I'm just letting you know. Now listen to this right here. Wow. Mixing my emotions throws me back again. Jesus. That is so deep. You could take that so many different ways, right? Wow. I'm just letting you know, he says. Listen to this verse here. I love the vibe of the beat. His flow style is always on point. He has a great rhyme scheme, multiple syllable scheme going on. Beautiful descriptors, as we will get into here. Listen to this right here. He said, I'm trying to be a good man. I can't speak for the others. Know the saying, heaven lies at the feet of your mother. Mine showed me the definition of hard work and smiles through her tears, even though her heart's hurting. Speaks her mind and never ever bites her tongue. I guess today you can say I'm just like my mom, he said. And then he gets into great grandmother as well. Wow. Great grandmother was in Beirut in 82 in a flat when it got invaded by Israeli troops. Wow. Sleeping in the hallway for shelter from the bullets, and that's why I'll always respect her to the fullest. It's about the struggle before, right? The struggle before he was even there to experience it that other people went through. It's about appreciating that, man. Holy hell, dude. That is so deep right there. And it's also, when you think about it, a person like Lowkey is the person in the family that probably broke the generational curses of all of those things, right? He is the one that rose and got the whole fucking bloodline and lineage better, right? Wow. And that's what he's talking about here. He's talking about what happened before, and it's reflective and a lot of mixed emotions because of what he is now. Like, look at this song even. This song even has 1 million views, so it's like this is a successful song. So you have to think what that's like what that feeling is like whenever you reflect on these things of the past right here. The storytelling is incredible. He's telling a very true story right here. Physically gone, all memories are kept in a picture. Wow, that is deep right there. That's a nice bar. It's a sad one, but it's a nice one, right? In Baghdad, my non slept with a Beretta in her slipper. That is real. That is some real talk right there. See, I like that Lowkey keeps it blunt and real like that. That's my favorite thing about his lyricism, especially in such a true story like this one. He's keeping it as real as it gets. He says, you're judged as a man by everything you amount to and the respect that you show the women around you. So think about that stuff when you diss her. That's somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, and somebody's sister. It's saying don't recklessly speak about the women around you and say mean things to them and stuff like that, right? It's saying be nice, be kind to them, be respectful to them, right? Wow. You're judged as a man by everything you amount to, he said. That's facts. That's the way the world works, right? You have to have something to offer. That's the way that it is for a man, and the energy that a man has to sit inside of. You have to make something of yourself, show people what you're made of, and have that as a support inside of your life and the way that you can provide for yourself and also other people and situations around you as well. You can also help out the world in that way too. If you come upon success and get the big money and stuff like that, you can put a lot of that into helping lesser fortunate people like homeless and all of that kind of stuff that goes on in the world. You can really help in situations like that. And I mean, it's, yeah, that amounts to a lot of character right there. Like, if you come upon a whole shitload of it, are you going to frivolously blow it all, right? And that's what you amounted to, or are you going to have the respect to give it back to people who also don't have it at the same time? That's what it really boils down to with that bar right there. I love bars like that, man. They really get you thinking about life and the way that you should move inside of things, the way that you should carry yourself inside of things, and enduring hardships, and then looking back on them later and seeing where things are now and realizing that everything kind of makes sense and you understand the values of life because of all of that and all of those lessons that happened. That's what this is all about. Lowkey, man, he is deep, ain't he?
Chase it all away. Mixing my emotions. Throws me back again.
I'm not claiming to be perfect, I know what a curve is, but a woman's worth isn't just on the surface. I see too many young women craving affection, degrading themselves for a male's attention. I know it's love, that you're certain that you felt messing with these different guys, you're just searching for yourself. Would it be whorish to boast how high a score is when a man does it? A player is what you call him. What if it's all just lies when she talks to guys, displays promiscuous ways like a source of pride? Would it make you squirm if the tables turned? Is that really what it would take to make you learn? You're judged as a man by everything you amount to and the respect that you show the women around you. So think about this stuff when you diss her. That's somebody's daughter, somebody's mother and somebody's sister. I said think about this stuff when you diss her. That's somebody's daughter, somebody's mother and somebody's sister.
So the way that he flipped this is very, very smart. He came with very valid criticisms of the social life that a lot of us live, and he reflected it towards the way the feminine side can go dark sometimes, the shadow side of it, the toxic side of the love, right? But he said it in a way that was asking questions and reflecting on them and not being disrespectful about it. It was like an honest discussion the way he worded it, right? I like that because then he ended it with the same thing that he ended the first verse with, right? Listen to this. He said, I'm not claiming to be perfect, but I know what a curve is. But a woman's worth isn't just on the surface, right? Surface level beauty. Sometimes the most beautiful faces are the meanest souls. That's what he's saying there. I see too many young women craving affection, degrading themselves for a male's attention. Wow. That's facts. You see so many girls will go after the guys that are fucking mean to them. Over and over and over. Just because it's like this lack of self-affection and self-love, almost like codependency kind of vibes, right? Is what that situation is. It's very sad that a person would feel like that to the point of putting themselves in those kind of situations continually. It's, man, that shit hurts, man, when you really think about it. That's so unfortunate. I know it's love that you're certain that you felt, but messing with these different guys, you're just searching for yourself. There it was, yeah, he said it. You're trying to find the lost pieces of yourself inside of the toxic situations with these men that view you as a surface level entity, so to speak, right? You're not really more than that to most of them. That's why you're degrading yourself for their attention, but it's degrading because of how they are towards you, right? I know it's love that you're certain you felt, but messing with these different guys, you're just searching for yourself, but you're not going to find that missing piece of yourself inside of a person with those characteristics, and the reason why is because you actually are beautiful. That's what he's saying, right? Reading between the lines. That's exactly what's being said here, and it's very powerful. This is super powerful. And then here comes some criticism right here. It's like a question kind of criticism. Would it be whorish to boast how high your score is when a man does it? A player is what you call him. So this is talking about, now we would call it that argument that the podcasts all have whenever they get the sex workers and everything on there, right? That argument that goes on there is kind of what he's alluding to here. When a man does it, a player is what you call him. So it's saying we have to reflect back and see that this is a mirror here. Like if a player is what a man is whenever he does it, then would it not also make sense to say that when you boast how high your score is kind of whorish, right? That's what he's saying. And yes, it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. What if it's all just lies when she talks to guys? I'm saying, what if she's just trying to get something that she wants? What if she's a gold digger? Or what if she just wants somebody to give her experiences in her life that she otherwise wouldn't be able to have on her own accord, right? It's like a fine line when it comes to value, right? There's a very fine line. And I don't think that you have to be rich or like have supercars or like big mansions or anything like that to have that value, but you have to do things that are valuable, even if they're on a smaller scale. That will eventually lead to a bigger scale if you just stick with it and keep going. But even on that smaller scale, what you're putting out there defines the value. And if what you're putting out is valuable and you're affecting even 100 or 200 people a day with it, you fucking did something there. Like, could you imagine that many people standing in front of you and you had to speak to them? Like, that would be a lot of energy, right? So you have to look at it like that. It really is a big effect, even with the smaller scale of things. There's still a lot of energy exchange that goes on there. He says, what if it's all just lies when she talks to guys, displays promiscuous ways like it's a source of pride? See, now he got really blunt there and actually just hit a bold criticism, and it's a valid, very valid criticism right there. Displaying promiscuous ways like it's a source of pride. That's exactly where we are now. That's exactly where we sit now with the vibes of the world. It's kind of wild out here. I mean, to each their own, and live your life the way you want, but be careful with your energy when it comes to that. That's all I'm going to say, man. Be careful with your energy when it comes to those sort of things. Would it make you squirm if the tables turned? Is that really what it would take to make you learn? Wow. It's saying, what if the other side was glorified? What if it was flipped? The perception was flipped, and the other side was glorified. How would you feel about it? Would you still feel the same as you do now? And the answer for that is probably definitely no, not at all, right? Wow. You're judged as a man by everything you amount to and the respect that you show to the women around you. So think about that stuff when you diss her as somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, and somebody's sister, right? It's just saying, be nice with your words, especially whenever you're talking to a woman, right? Just be kind to them. Be respectful inside of the conversation and value the conversation as well. Value both sides of the conversation. Everybody's got something to say and something valuable, especially on an emotional level, to offer in most instances, right? And the criticisms inside of this, I mean, they're just very valid points that he's making about the social structure of society and our roles inside of it. I love this. This is really, and actually, Something Wonderful is a good title for this song because that's what he's done here.
Chase it all away. Mixing my emotions.
Now we got another verse too. Let's see where he takes it now.
Certain things are too deep to put in a verse. Let me apologize to every single woman I've hurt or disrespected, whether family members or exes. I wanna make amends for however I left it. Men make them, but the women get harmed in wars. I pray for a heart as pure as a Sata should cause. We put them down, but on a pedestal we should put them. Behind every good man, there's a good woman. Betty Shabazz lost her husband to the handguns and lost her life when her house was burnt down by her grandson. Kabila saw her father murdered when the hammer sparked. So I feel her pain when she tried to murder Farrakhan. You're judged as a man by everything you amount to and the respect that you show the women around you. So think about this stuff when you diss her. That's somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, and somebody's sister. I said think about this stuff when you diss her. That's somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, and somebody's sister.
Boy, oh boy. This is good right here. I like what he said in this third verse, man. He said, certain things are too deep to put in a verse. Let me apologize to every single woman I've hurt or disrespected, whether family members or exes. I want to make amends for however I left it, he said. Yeah, those growing mistakes, right? Growing pains inside of life, especially masculine energy is crazy, especially in the youthful stages of things. I mean, we're a confused bunch, men are. Whenever they're younger, it's a lot of displaced energy in certain areas that has to be taught to be held down. It's trained to be stoic. You have to be stoic, man. I'm telling you. When it comes to masculine energy, being stoic is so damn important because it's a lot, right? It's a lot. And this is just about those instances where he let that become overbearing and have reactive moments and things like that that did not go as intended. And he wants to apologize for that, make the amends for however it was left. Just know that I'm a better person now, is what he's saying, right? Men make them, but the women get harmed in wars. Wow. I pray for a heart as pure as Asada Shakur's. My God. Oh, man. That is so beautiful. That is one of the most beautiful bars I have ever heard in my entire life. Lowkey, shout out to you, sir. Sir. That is respect right there. That is such respect right there. Convicted in 1977 for the murder of a state trooper during a shootout in New Jersey, the Black Liberation Army. Lord, man. There's more shout-outs, too. We got more. He said, we put them down on the pedestal we should put them on. Behind every good man, there's a good woman. I've said that so many times, man. It's like whenever you see a guy doing really, really good, you generally tend to find out that there's also a very, very good woman behind whatever he has going on with himself, right? And it's facts. That statement is very true. The duality of it makes things easier to function, especially when it's a deep, like, soul kind of bond with the person, right? It's a very, very valuable connection whenever the common goal can be had. And you have to put both sides on a pedestal when it comes to that. That balance is very admirable on both ends, masculine and feminine. I love this right here. Betty Shabazz lost her husband to the handguns, lost her life when her house was burned down by her grandson. The references that he makes are so honest. They're the things that people try to push under the rug, the things that they don't want to remember in history, right? We get a lot of things that get pushed under the rug when it comes to history and the things that we have gone through as a society to get to where we are, and all of the division with the wars and race wars, right? Back in the 50s and 60s and everything like that, going back into slavery. I mean, that's not very far removed at all, and it's still occurring in places in the world. Like, and child labor is a big problem as well. We've talked about that on here as well. In a lot of places, child labor is a huge issue. I mean, you got kids working 18, 20-hour days in sweatshops with like one meal, and it's like probably like a sandwich with one piece of meat on it in a lot of instances. Like, you have to consider that those things happen in the world, and it's a privilege to actually have things, to have nice things, and to be able to provide for yourself and not be born into those kind of situations. That in itself is a very special privilege, because you could have easily been put somewhere where you ended up in a much worse situation. You have to consider those things. That's what he's talking about whenever he brings up these topics and these historical instances of death and bad things happening. That's what he's getting. He wants to get your brain on that frequency of that consideration that we just talked about. Man, Lowkey is something special, is he not? Kabbalah saw her father murdered when the hammer sparked, so I feel her pain when she tried to murder Farrakhan. Yeah. It's like the law of motion, essentially, like kinetic energy, right? It's like kinetic energy. You push somebody over the edge, they're gonna sail into it quick, and they're gonna go for it in an instance like that. And that's what he's talking about. You're judged as a man by everything you amount to and the respect that you show to the women around you. So think about that stuff when you diss her. That's somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, and somebody's sister. It's just about respecting both sides of the equation. We had a whole reflection in the second verse about the criticisms and misunderstandings between them, especially on a physical, sexual, and social level, spiritual level. In the second verse, we had that discussion. This is a deep song right here. Peaked. I see why you wanted me to grab a hold of this one. I really love stuff like this. Low key, getting us to have an important discussion right here. As always, I don't expect anything less from Lowkey. This is amazing right here. Very, very well written.
Chase it all away. Mixing my emotions throws me back again.
I love this, man. This was really good. Very deep. Very well done. I don't expect anything else from him. Man. Beautiful right here. I love stuff like this. This was really, really good right here. I really appreciate songs like this. This opened up the door to so many different levels of conversation on a social level, as I expected. I don't expect anything else when it comes to a low-key song except for us to be here talking about really deep and important things involving the world, social issues. In this case, the duality of both sides of the masculine and feminine and the way that they need to come together and view each other right, and the mutual respect that needs to be had between that. And he described it from the perspective of what the feminine goes through. And I really like that he wrote it from that perspective. It really makes you think and really opens up the door to the purity of the feminine nature and what the value inside of life is when it comes to the feminine nature, which obviously they literally birth us into the world. So there's that, you know what I mean? It's as simple. I mean, that's the first thing that you have to say, and that's really all you have to say after that, right? That's all you have to say. You don't have to go any further than that to really just put it into perspective for what it is. I really appreciate stuff like this, though. The references in this last verse here, the real life fucking references right here are so valuable. It adds the layer of emotion to it, the real world perspective of it all, where you can really sit and appreciate the things that you have in life that you could, like I said, you could have easily been born into something much worse than wherever it is that you are. And he's just describing the tragedies that have happened historically, especially alluding to women losing Betty Shabazz losing her husband to the handguns, and then lost her own life when a house was burned down by her grandson. There's an annotation for that. I wonder if it has a more of an explanation here. Yeah, let's cover this actually. Let's read this annotation real quick. So, let me get this pulled up again right here, guys. Okay, here we go. Such a tragic story, it says. Betty Shabazz saw her husband, political activist Malcolm X, being murdered and died when her grandson burned her house down. Jesus Christ. She died when her grandson burned her house down and suffered burns on over 80% of her body. Was put in intensive care where she stayed for 3 weeks and underwent 5 skin replacement operations, but her skin was damaged beyond the point of being able to replace it. 12 at the time, and was sentenced to 18 months in juvenile detention center for pleading guilty of arson and manslaughter. Wow. That is wild. That is so dark. Kabbalah Shabazz witnessed the murder of her father, Malcolm X, and attempted to get revenge by killing Louis Farrakhan, who she thought organized her father's murder. Lowkey sympathized with her. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's a lot right there. I'm glad that I clicked on those annotations and we dove into that a little bit deeper. It is so tragic. That is so tragic. The Malcolm X scenario and situation, man. And MLK, obviously, as well. Martin Luther King, as well. Very, very tragic situations. Very, very separate approaches, obviously. Very separate approaches to the same goal. But everybody has their own perspective and everybody has their own approach when it comes to those things. And if the goal is ultimately the same, respect has to be there. And the struggle that they went through for those rights, Lowkey really appreciates that. He sings about that a lot, the struggle for the rights inside of race and everything through history. And it's something that has definitely been an issue through history, and it's something that, like I said, in a lot of places in the world they're still dealing with now, and it really is terrible. But we have to send prayers and positive energy in the direction of the areas where those things are happening. Send your positive energy that way. Instead of reflecting on it negatively, send positivity to it and help it, right? Send prayers and just ask God to protect those people and look over them and make their lives better. That's really the best thing that you can do. This is really deep. I really love this. Peaked. Thank you for this. The original video will be in the description. As always, subscribe to Lowkey. Support all the artists we have on the channel. That's what we do this for. Get the music out into the world. Relate it to life. This one, very, very important song right here. This is a very, very good song and very well written. Well done, Lowkey. Peaked. Thank you again. Thank you guys for tuning in. Always remember, you can pull yourself out of your struggles. You can become the best version of yourself. You can accomplish all of the goals that you have in your life. Thank you guys for being here for me. It truly means the world, and it's a blessing. I love you guys so much. We're going to get out of here. I'm Vakasa Kavi. A reaction video a day keeps the doctor away. Fuck those apples. Leave a like for me. Comment those suggestions. Subscribe up this way. Bang the notification bell for me. I'll see you guys in the next ones. I love you so much. Thank you for everything. Have a blessed night. Peace.